His model, I think what he's thinking correctly, I'm not on the same page. You will have a toll-free number, some dedicated number. You pick up the phone, call that number, place your order, and food is delivered to your door.
Alright. Yeah, it's little away from it. Yeah, it's not delivered right away one, and it is also we are trying to use a web space more than the telephonic.
But fine.
But yeah,
you also what can be placed the telephone, online,
yeah,
SMS,
different channels.
a different. Yeah.
Probably we need to establish several points in the city.
Fine.
From one point.
Using cameras, what you just said. You said you need multiple outlets, right? So, correct. So that part, it has to fit in somewhere in this 9 blocks. So where do you think it will fit in? Bingo. Right? So we're not there yet. So it will be answered. Okay. I'm sorry. You have a question? Okay.
Urban working couples having maids are of the higher section of the society where you would get that kind of things. There's a real big need for a lot of people who want that kind of breakfast which is good enough. And then if you see, if you even actually get into such place, people even who are not working would still want to take a breakfast for a break part of it. If not for the that part of the segment is what we are validated. Like what he said, could the corporates directly be a segment? Since sorry, we've not been actually in there.
Okay.
One question I have, I don't know where it fits in. Now you are saying you are going to supply breakfast. Are you going to collect from few places or are you going to cook it on your own? Number one. If you're going to cook it on your own at one centralized unit, then you are going to have a lot of resources in terms of manpower, vehicles, etc., concentrated. Let's say breakfast delivery is going to happen at 8 o'clock because I need to move out of my house at 8:30. Then your work is going to start at, let's say, 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. After that 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 8:30 breakfast is delivered, the entire day, how is your resource going to be utilized? And is that breakfast going to be so expensive to cover the cost? If it is, then is it going to make sense to order?
Right. So some of that will be covered under. We have the solution, and there is key activities that will go along with it. So what are the key activities that we need to focus on in terms of meeting your unique value proposition requirements, distribution channels, customer relationships, all that, right?
Do we need a segment over here which says that okay, there is a problem, but solving that problem is going to create another problem internally which needs to be taken care of? You're looking at a problem from your client's perspective. I'm saying in solving that problem as an organization, I'm going to have certain issues. Where do I list that down and where do I take care of it? Something like a black hat thing.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is not set in stone kind of canvas. This is based on Alex's model. However, there are different flavors to this. If you, again, depending on the startup and specifically what you're trying to accomplish, you can change the problem solution. Some people don't even have problem solution. They just have unique value proposition to answer your question, right? They have key resources. They have key activities. They have key partners, right? So there are variations to this. I mean, honestly, I don't even want unfair advantage on this slide when I'm a startup, right? So people change that to, for example, customer relationships. How do I retain and upsell my services? They're existing customers. So that makes more sense, right? So anyway, this is just to introduce you to the lean canvas, the benefits, and how actually this is not like something you're experimenting now. I mean, companies have used this and validated, and I think it's a trend going forward, right? But anybody has any specific problem that's not addressed as part of this, or you want to get more details? Metro company is more than happy to sit one-on-one. Today I think we are pressed for time. We want to wrap it up before lunch. So you can reach me or you can reach Sanjay and you coordinate with one of the mentors, whoever is appropriate for that business case. Okay, let's continue. So the solution, right? Yeah. So what is the solution that you're coming up with?
The solution that we wanted to come up with is deliver the breakfast at home, which is booked a day before via any of the means, phone or web.
Okay. Deliver the breakfast. So deliver the breakfast, I would think is more of a channel thing, meaning.
Now that's where it would be different from what we wanted to do. The place where we wanted, or if you actually go back and see what Tamil Nadu is doing, what what is happening right now in Chennai is the low cost breakfast that is being offered at good hygiene. If you see she's like Jalan is offering, Jalan's government indeed is offering that breakfast at 1 rupee thing, whereas it is subsidized by only say 5 rupee stuff. So its actual cost of making of Italy is 6. So even where you try and make it push it further down to double it, it's still 12. What you're right now getting is a very good. If you're trying to get something, it is like 25 plus. So it definitely needs to be centralized for having a low cost. But if you actually can have a distribution network, which could be also, so like if you see right now, all the shopping cart business who deliver goods are actually delivering their stuff only right from 9 till 6 o'clock. So the morning part of it is underutilized.
Right. So let's focus, one thing at a time, because there are sections for various, aspects of business model. So we identified 3 problems, right? So for the 3 problems, remember I said we need to have a minimum viable product, whether it's services or product doesn't matter. That would match the top 3 problems. So if you said your top 3 problems are those, so what is your solution? Solution is, I'm just trying to, trigger some thoughts. Solution is probably having high quality breakfast served at a reasonable price.
Right.
Yeah. On time. So that is the solution you are coming up with, right?
Yes.
So how do we get the food to the customer? That's a different.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So any other thoughts from the audience? Yeah, please. Sleepy.
Find the business very boring.
So you guys agree with whatever we put on the board right now, or anything that you think is missing? Please. Yeah. Whoever is paying my bill is my customer. I don't really, I'm ordering breakfast, I have guests at home. I'm paying for the breakfast. Who's consuming is irrelevant, right?
Sometimes when you design strategy, you have to figure out how you are addressing the people need as a customer.
So right now, yeah, good point. So if you look at the customer segments, we already identified who the customer segments are. Now we are trying to address what the problems that they are having, what are their needs, and how can we satisfy those. Right? So that's a solution. So we are at the stage where we talked about the customer segments, we identified the top 3 problems for them, and we're talking about the solution.
Yeah, but when we are designing solution, we have to figure out what does the consumer need. In that case, it's fine because your customer has less consumer change. But there are industries like suppose it's toy industry or something. The consumer influence.
In this case, that should be identified as another customer segment within the customer segment block itself. Right? So anything that you want to capture which is categorized as a customer type, whether it's like I said, mass customer base or whether segmented, diversified, niche, doesn't matter. They all should be in that block. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Any other thoughts, concerns, questions, comments? Okay. Let's move on. So yeah, let's talk about channels now.
I keep thinking about it. You are going to be active for let's say 6 hours in a day. How are you going to guarantee the dependability of resources? Let's say delivery boys, cooks turning up on time, etc., when you are actually just going to take out maybe 4 hours or 6 hours of work. I'm assuming that breakfast after 9 you got no work left. You're not going to make lunch, you're not going to make dinner because you're concentrating on breakfast. Now, how do you take care of quality by paying them a good cost and yet having them work only for 4 or 5 hours? Where are you going to create that repetitive revenue revenues at the same cost which adds to profitability? Or is that breakfast going to be expensive? Because you need to recover costs somewhere, right?
Your profit margin might not be very high, but if you actually go back and see, then they would be working for the same number of hours on the different part of the day. Then it's not going to end at 9. They'll definitely work till 11 o'clock until the things are done. So from whatever it has to be till preparation for next step or whatever happens the next day and all, it still ends up working up 8 hours a day. So that's how you would ensure it. That's the
this particular project easily to lunch and dinner. So because of platform is saying that is a actually project, you should start writing for the channel as a problem or solution.
Right. So
that is where investment really is required.
Right. So that's, I mean, this is what we call it a minimum viable product, right? Starting with breakfast. Once that is proven, you can apply it for lunch, dinner, doesn't matter. Right? That's what startup definition is also, right? And, repeatable and scalable business model is what is creating. Right? Okay, that's it. Channels, I mean, what do you think the channels are for his offering? I mean, I'll share one. I would use Just That as one of the channels to reach customers. Right? If I'm, searching online for breakfast delivery service, you should, somehow come out there. Right? That's one. Any other channels you can think of? Basically, channels. Remember, we talked about how are we reaching our customers. So channels can be distribution channels, it could be sales channels, it could be marketing, yeah, all those. So basically, whatever helps to reach our customers in terms of delivering the product, in terms of helping increase our sales, in terms of partnering with them to get the awareness, more sales, evaluations, post sales support, all that, right? So it could be maybe a flyer in the newspaper. Right, dropped at the doorstep, so they can see, okay, somebody's going to deliver breakfast, they can try it out. Or it could be some kind of Facebook or Twitter social media channel.
Actually, if you the other channels that we have probably a little across, little offbeat are your milkman in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Could be your delivery channel for your breakfast as well. If it is not too early, or you can actually tie up with some of those people to get your orders done back to you and then give it back from them.
Yeah.
The kirana stores or any of those people where you could actually concentrate in areas where there are a lot of offices and then these PGs that you have around it. So those people could be a good channel for you selling food.
Right.
I mean, if you can actually package your food in such a way where it could come out within the cost of where it is, everybody would like to take it there.
Newspaper, Just he said milkmen for, so there are different reasons for different delivery channels. One is to deliver the food, other one is how do you get the awareness, right? So awareness is through advertisements, right? And it could be billboards, it could be brochure, it could be SEO, your website, right? Social media, all those. So once they know, then they will come and order. Then you worry about the delivery channel. Who is going to deliver? So like Mr. Milkman, okay, that's a creative way of thinking. Anyways, they go there. So, but the only problem is milkmen usually go before 6 a.m., right? Yeah.
But they have all the works after that.
So you can leverage the bandwidth. Okay. So let's move on in the interest of time. Okay, let's talk about revenue streams. So, what do you think your revenue streams in terms of average?
Other than food, it would always be advertising that goes with the food.
Right. So, what's the average ticket price for a customer?
If I'm the food part of it? Or?
Yeah. I mean, you should have some idea, like if a family or somebody orders food, what would be the average ticket? I mean, you're saying the reasonable cost.
It should be like 15 rupees per person for any of the varieties that they cook.
Okay, so the 15 rupees would cover all your delivery costs, at the same
Right,
time.
and so, I mean, that's the point that we're not going to lunch or anything. When you start thinking of lunch, you have a lot variety of things that you would always want to eat. Today, do something else. But if you, in the Indian advantage of breakfast offers you a good number of foods within, say, for 7 days itself. And that could also suit for both the kids and adults. So you have idli, then you have the pongal, you have something else that could cooked and then given out. That you're not using the dosas and other stuff. So you have some 7 or 8 varieties, limited stuff that you would.
Let me clarify. When you say 15 rupees, right? I think you're thinking about one breakfast item.
One breakfast item
Yeah.
per person.
Yeah, what I meant is, if I order, right, I order 2 plates of idli, 2 plates
Right.
of dosa, and 2 plates of vada. So let's say my bill is 150 rupees, another family is 200. So what would be the average bill for each family, household, not just one item?
So if you have 4 people in a family, the average bill would be 60 rupees.
Okay, 60. Okay, so Sanjay, put 60 rupees per user or per customer. Yeah.
It will cover offline.
Okay. So the cost structure, as you know, is basically your operational cost, all that, your salaries, utilities, rents. Yeah, that's it. So cost structure, we don't have to talk about it. It's basically your cost center. That's that. And unfair advantage, I don't think you have anything at this point. I know so many places who are already doing what you're saying. Just biryani. Yeah, they already do that. Right? I only know because I spoke to them. Okay, so we'll wrap this up. So thanks for your participation. Any questions we can take offline, or you can reach out to Sanjay or myself if you have any specific needs or custom business cases that you want to discuss with us. We're more than happy to help you. Again, thanks for attending.
Thank you. Srini, may I have your words? Request Raghupatina to please small tokens.